welcome to Twinning Out Loud.
With your hosts, Mariah and Amanda.
Yeah, today's episode, we're going to go into postpartum. What did we think it was going to be? What was it actually?
Our own stories
Yeah,
about our own experiences that hopefully can relate to you guys.
yeah. Let's kick it off. Postpartum journeys.
The
The
good, the bad, the ugly.
Yep, very much a lot of the ugly too.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you have expectations for postpartum?
Honestly, I don't think I knew what I was getting into. I don't think it was talked about a lot. At least so with Parker when I had my first, I didn't know what to expect from
Yeah.
postpartum. The baby part's great. I was like, okay, I'll get to have my baby. I can't wait. Um, but no one really tells you about the diapers, the bleeding. It's talked about way more now, and all of my friends that have babies now, I make sure to send them my postpartum list that I
Yes.
had in
That's
my notes
cute.
sheet.
Yes.
And I remember I did have a friend when I was pregnant with my first. She was a nurse and she sent me a postpartum box and I opened it and I was like, what is this?
Mhm.
But I am so thankful she did that because I had no idea that I needed any of that or what any of it meant.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't think I was ready for like the diapers, the bleeding, what it's supposed to be like, taking care of a baby, but also taking care of yourself. And then like if you take the other layers of it, the stitches, how much you tear, if you tear, like if you have a C-section versus vaginal, what does all of that look like? And how long does it take to heal? And one of the biggest things I think for me was the contractions after.
Yes.
Yes, when your uterus is contracting back to normal, especially with the twins. I ended up back in the ER. We thought there was, like, leftover, like, retained placenta or something, and there wasn't. It was just my uterus, all my levels were still high, like, my uterus was just contracting so much from, like, the breastfeeding and everything. Every morning, same time, I would be, like, in tears, and I have a high pain threshold. So, like, stuff like that nobody really talks about. So, yeah, how about you? What was your expectations?
Honestly, I thought of it as like this really pretty picture.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have my baby, we're gonna take like contact naps, I'm gonna get nap trapped like everybody tells you. But same thing, like up until probably I don't know, I don't even know if it was a month before I had my first. I was like, what do I need? And I ended up texting my friend and I was like, hey, what would you suggest? And like I knew I was going in for a C-section because of complications I had, that they had to do a C-section. So I was like, "What do I need for a C-section?" And she was like, "Here is my list on her, like, phone," and she was like, "I suggest all of this." And thank goodness I had it. I had all of that, and I was ready and a little bit prepared. I mean, like, I wouldn't say that I actually mentally prepared, but, like, I at least had the tools to get me through. Funny enough, like, the underwear you have to buy, like, the adult diapers that you have for at first, but then because I had a C-section and my incision was still healing, I couldn't go back to, like, regular underwear
Yeah.
pretty quickly. So for, like, me, I didn't realize that I would need, like, extra high-waisted, and not only just high-waisted, there was actually ones that have a thicker band at the top so that it gave more room for, like, where the incision was. And then I learned that this is a good hack for anybody who has a C-section. You take a pad, like a long one, like overnight almost, and you have the adhesive part go on the top part of the band of like the thick part of the
Oh,
underwear.
and put it on the
So yeah, on
inside
the inside
for
so
your
that like my
incision.
incision didn't rub my underwear and like if I wanted to wear clothes or anything like that, like other than like a robe or whatever I was
Yeah.
in, like it didn't rub. And that was huge because like the incision's uncomfortable. And I would definitely say with like my first Laney, I wasn't understanding the healing process of an abdominal like surgery
Mhm.
and a very invasive
Yep.
abdominal surgery. Standing up for my first time, like, was 6 hours after my C-section. They're trying to stand me up, and all I kept saying was I felt like a sticker, like taking a sticker off of a page that didn't wanna be pulled because, like, everything felt so tight and there was a
Mhm.
burn. So, like, the burn is very normal for
And
that.
you don't know that.
No, but, like, I thought something was wrong and, like, I was crazy. So I was standing up and I couldn't, like, fully stand up because it hurt so bad. And eventually once you got, like, up and you did it a few times, like, that stinging kinda went away because it was almost like you're
Stretching out a little bit,
yeah,
like, trying
yeah.
to, like, massage it out, basically.
Yeah, but, like, sitting was awful, just, like, sitting too straight, trying to stand up, log rolling out of bed instead of just sitting up and getting out of bed, like, it was just I would have never known if I didn't have a friend who's actually, an occupational therapist who told me how to log roll, I wouldn't have even known, like,
Yeah.
that's the best way to get out of bed, and the second C-section for the twins was totally different because 1, I kinda was prepared, but 2, when you have one already, you're already cut, there's already scar tissue and stuff, so really, you're not recutting any muscle because it doesn't come back.
Mhm.
Like, of course, like, things heal, but it's never fully what it was. So I definitely feel like I recovered quicker, but I
Yeah.
also had the tools and understanding of what I was doing, where the first time, like you said, like, we just kind of went into
Yeah, you just kinda go for it.
yeah, yeah, and, like, just the silly stuff that you don't think you need, like Gas X and stool softeners
Stool
and
softener, I tell people that now, and they're just like, "Wait, why do I need that?" And I'm like, "Because it's gonna be really hard to poop after."
yes.
And it's just those type of
Yeah, because
things.
like, a spinal or an epidural, anything like that is gonna, like, bind you up some, and then if you're on pain meds after a
Yeah.
C-section, like, that makes it worse too. Yeah, totally don't forget the stool softeners. It's not a cute topic. Postpartum's not cute, and
It's
it's
not
okay.
cute, no.
I mean, I tried to have the cute robe, and I tried to have the cute matching stuff with Lainey, but, like, honestly, I sat there, like, in whatever I could put myself in.
Yeah, and whatever felt comfortable, because like, to your point, even some of those pants with bands felt too tight and,
Yeah.
like
I don't think I wore pants for, like, at least over a week
yeah,
because it just hurt.
mine were, like, very baggy and, like, just, like, super high-waisted, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was whatever could fit and feel comfortable, and I think a big thing was after bringing the baby home, we automatically think we have to just keep going. That's where I messed up on my first was I got up and wanted to be a part of it so much, I just kept pushing through, which
Mhm.
then extended my bleeding, so then I was bleeding longer at home because I kept overexerting. And that was one thing I had to call my gyno about because 'cause I'm like, "I'm, like, clotting, I'm doing this," and she's like, "You have to, like, relax, like, you're
Mhm.
not letting your body catch up."
So
And
funny, that was my second.
yeah,
Because well, I guess with my first, she was in the NICU, so I didn't have, like, that get up and have to
yeah,
constantly be taking care of her. But with the boys, like, 1, I was feeling better than I did with Lainey, so I thought to myself, like, "Well, I'm feeling better, I can do it." So
mhm.
I was just gonna do it, and then there's 2 of them, and they came home right away, and I wanted to get outside and walk because I had Lainey in January, I had the boys in August, so with Lainey, if I wanted to walk, we actually went to a mall, and I walked the inside of
Oh,
the mall
wow,
just
okay.
to, like, get myself moving and outside of the walls, and then, like, with the boys, it was nice out, so I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, let's get out and walk." I remember I did, like, 2 up and backs to my neighbor's house and back, and I was in so much pain, and I kept bleeding, and I
yeah,
couldn't figure out why, and when I called my gyno, she was like, "Well, how much exercise and, like, movement are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, nothing crazy, I've just walked to my neighbor's house and back," which really isn't far, and she was like, "Yes, stop." She was like, "You need to just sit, attend to your babies, and let everybody else handle."
yeah,
And it's hard, especially when you're type A like us, like, we're
yeah,
just used to doing everything, so when somebody wants to come and help, it's nice, but at the same time, you're like, that's not how I do it, I want
yeah,
it my way," and it's difficult to accept help, but at the same time, like, you just have to, and I remember my friend who actually gave me the postpartum said her biggest advice to me was, "Take a week in bed."
mhm.
And I didn't do that at all.
Yeah, no, I
I
did
didn't do that at all.
that, yeah.
She was like, "I wish for everybody who gave me that advice, I would have taken it, so I'm gonna give it to you." And then I didn't take it.
So how about you all try to take that advice, take a week
Yes.
in bed?
Yes.
We'll see how
Take
that
a week in bed
goes.
with your baby, your bassinet next to you, or your 2 babies with your double bassinet that's
Yeah.
huge
It
next to
is
you.
huge.
Uh,
I will say that one of the biggest tips I had when I gave birth to the twins, and we had learned this from our first, was have a mini fridge in your bedroom, if possible. I don't care if you pick this thing up from Marketplace, clean it, whatever. Having the mini fridge in our room was a game changer only because those night feeds with twins, it is like a assembly line.
oh,
Like
yeah.
you're feeding them, you're changing them, you're burping them. And, if you're pumping, we could keep the milk in the fridge till the morning and then do our thing and then freeze it. So that was huge. Or we would, like, have the milk in there and we had the bottle warmers on top, so we would just do everything up there so I didn't have to go downstairs.
So on the flip side, if you're not breastfeeding, because I could not, we had the baby Brezza, and that is like I call it the formula Keurig. Highly recommend it. But we had one downstairs for my daughter, but then with the twins knowing that it was gonna be such an assembly line to get through, we actually a friend of ours gave us theirs, and we had a second upstairs, and that's how we didn't go
Yeah.
downstairs at all. Everything was, like, upstairs. We had the bottles ready to go. We had the
Yep.
water already in, like, everything was ready. So then when we got up, both twins were getting changed as I was getting bottles for them.
Mhm.
Gary and I each took a twin and fed them, burped them, and then my kids have awful acid reflux, so they had to sit up for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we would sit up and, on top of having, like, the kids' stuff ready, Gary and I always put a snack upstairs for us.
Oh, yeah, we always had chocolate pretzels
Oh, yeah, we had
and
pretzels
Gatorade.
too. We had pretzels too, so, like or goldfish. We had
Yeah.
goldfish too.
Tom always jokes he gained the pregnancy weight.
Oh, yeah, Gary would, like, reach over and put the pretzels between us, and we'd be, like, snacking as the kids were, like, just sleeping, but sitting up because they had to for their
Yeah.
acid reflux, but yeah, it has to be an assembly line to get anything done with twins at night, and if you, like, really want to have the best schedule
At
you
any
can.
point in the day, it's an assembly
Well,
line.
yes, that's
The
all that
morning, the
that's
night.
true, but at night when you're half asleep, like, make it.
It's off,
Yeah.
yeah. And I will say, that fridge trick is whether you're breastfeeding, you have, formula or not, because there was many times where we had to supplement because my supply was not enough for twins. So, you can have that set up regardless of whatever
Yeah.
feeding method you are doing.
Yeah, we just used our Brezza because that was, like, my little formula Keurig.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did like that thing, that was a savior, especially with twins, but you have to clean it every 4, like, you have to clean, like, the funnel every 4 uses,
Oh,
so it's really
wow.
only 2 feedings.
Oh,
So
wow.
buy the extra funnel. It's,
Okay,
like, a $10 not even part, like,
okay.
just buy the extra funnel. So we did, so that,
Yeah.
like, after 2 feedings, we flipped the other one in while the other one dried. No big deal, because you can't have the funnel wet or the formula sticks to it, and it's not the right, like, consistency, so.
What, you mentioned NICU. We're probably gonna have a lot of, or hopefully not, but if you do, a lot of NICU moms, because of twins, it happens. What, what are some of your thoughts on the NICU? How's your experience?
I can't say enough positive things about the NICU that, we were at as a NICU and the doctors and nurses. For, like, a mom's sake, it's tough, and it's hard to even, like, relive what you go through.
Yeah,
And the PTSD I had about knowing twins and the possibility and most likelihood of them being in the NICU scared me. Like, my whole pregnancy, I was just constantly like, "I can't do this again. I
yeah,
can't do this again. I can't." And, like, of course you can. You're strong. Like, you'll do it.
yeah.
But, like, it's tough. My first baby, and I'm leaving her at the hospital, and I have to leave without my baby. Like,
Mhm.
that's step one is the hardest. They let me stay an extra day with her, but knowing, like, she wasn't leaving, it was just more so that since I had a C-section, I could have up to 4 days, and they just let me have that 4th day, but, um, you leave, and then if you're breastfeeding or pumping, like, they will supply and store everything there, you just have to bring back, they will help you while you're there with breastfeeding, and then if you're pumping, you just bring in and they will store. If you're formula feeding, they do it there, as well, and they do not warm up like your formula, which is probably the greatest thing because Lainey never needed her bottles, like, warm.
Yeah.
Where the twins, like, were used to the Brezza when they first came home.
Prince
Oh,
treatment.
yeah. So, my twin A, he is still bad, like, he doesn't even like regular milk
Oh
cold.
my god.
Oh, yeah, he's something, but, otherwise, like, you come back and you can only come back well, you can come back anytime, that's not true that I was gonna say, but, like, if you wanna hold your baby, you come back at a feeding time because they have very strict schedules and they want to make sure that the baby's growing, so you need to have the sleep, and when they're with mom and dad, like, sometimes they're awake or they wanna be more snuggly and they're not getting that adequate sleep.
Okay.
So we would kinda have, like, the feeding schedule for the NICU, and that's when we would come visit. You can come as many times a day as you want, you can come and sit there and watch them sleep.
Aw.
Yeah, so, like, at one point, Lainey had to be under the lamp because she had,
Should it get phototherapy?
yeah, so she was under there for a little bit, not long, I wanna say maybe a day, but, like, she really couldn't come out, so we watched her, but they had these, like, little fake sunglasses as a band for around her eyes, that was pretty
Aw, that's
cute.
cute.
But something else is, like, the babies are naked other than their diapers when they're in there because 'cause they're monitored really close, they have things all over them, and I still to this day can hear all of the monitors going off,
Mm,
like, and even when she came home, everybody's like, "Oh, you should get the outlet sock because that will make you feel better," but honestly, I don't think I could have heard another monitor or
yeah,
something else go off. I had enough trouble with any time she made a noise, I was, like, over top of her
yeah,
that I couldn't have done that, but, like, that's super difficult. They always say their rule of thumb is don't expect your baby home before your due date. So Lainey was a little bit over a month premature, and she came home maybe a week before her due date.
yeah,
So roughly the same time. When she was born, she was struggling with breathing and eating. So she slowly weaned off of the oxygen within 72 hours, which was super
yeah,
positive. But then with the feeding, like she'd fall asleep. She was too tired. Like she couldn't
yeah,
stay up and she couldn't feed. So she pretty much got all of hers through a tube and they would try, but it wasn't like progressing, but they said very normal. And then to help them, they keep them in the incubator so that it like warms them. They
mhm.
don't have to keep their body temperature. But then when they start weaning them off, that's a new thing that they have to like their bodies
Adapt
have to
to.
adapt to. So even when you pass that one like milestone, you always have like that little bit of extra, even though that
It's a build, yeah.
yeah, so it's definitely like a process. Rome wasn't built in a day, and like babies' bodies have to adapt to being out in this outside world. They have this
Mhm,
comfy spot in us. Like,
yeah.
um,
How did you feel?
I struggled. I struggled pretty hard. So I say that I went through 2 rounds of postpartum. I had leaving your baby in the hospital and it coming home and seeing all of her stuff I had laid out in the house, but like
Mhm,
no her. Um, I'd sit at dinner and just cry,
yeah.
and there was, like, nothing that Gary could say that would make it better, even though he tried, and sometimes he was like, "I don't know what to say," because I was just going through it. It
Yeah.
was tough, and then there was people saying, "You could have had it worse. Your daughter could be worse off," and, like, that kills you too because
People said that?
yeah.
I need to know those people. I need to figure out who they were.
Yeah, so then they were almost, like, downplaying how I felt about not having my baby home and making me feel like I was crazy for being so upset without my baby, knowing that she was in a good spot, which I knew, and I knew she was doing okay, but you can't tell a postpartum mom who has, like, 1,000 thoughts going through her mind and emotions and just struggling with postpartum in
I don't
general.
like being a night away from my kids, let alone being away from your newborn that you had just gave life to,
Yeah.
and, like, you have to go home without them and not knowing what's going on.
Mhm. And I was like I would call myself like the psycho mom, but the nurses said that all moms really did it. But every feed I would call and
Yeah.
check in on her and see how she ate, if she ate, like anything,
It's
any
called
updates.
being a mom.
I know.
Like, that's being a
I like
mom.
would wake up and I'd look at the clock and I'd be like, okay, there's the shift change. I have to wait until after that and then call in to see how she did.
If
Um,
if anyone tries to play your emotions down, like,
yeah, don't let that happen.
F them,
Yeah.
because that's not right. That's not
No.
right at
And I
all.
definitely like let that play with me for a little bit. And then of course, like after 20 days, we finally got to take her home. Also, if your baby's too small or in the NICU, they have to go through a 2-hour car seat test.
Mhm. The
Um,
twins had to do that.
yeah, so one of my twins had to do that, and then Lainey had to do that. And they pretty much just sit them in the car seat to make sure that they're not suffocating and that they would be good to ride in a maximum of like a 2-hour ride home or wherever they're to go. Some people don't live as close to a hospital as like luckily we do, so they have like the 2 hour as their average. So we got the call that Lainey was up for her car seat test and they would call us back if she passed, because if she passed, she was at the 48-hour mark where she had no cardiac episodes. She had ate her all of the bottles that she was supposed to and the ounces she was supposed to. She obviously was breathing fine and then she was keeping her temperature. So those were all the things that she had to do before she could get the car seat
Yeah.
test. So she passed the car seat test and I was so ready. I was dressed, waiting. I remember it snowed and Gary was outside cleaning, like, the cars off, and I got the call and I, like, flew the garage door open. I was like, "That's it, get in the car, we're going."
Really?
Yeah, I was like, "We gotta go pick her up, it's time."
It's like you gave birth to her all over again,
Yeah.
that feeling of, like, having her back.
Yeah, so, like, your heart's so happy because you can't wait to have her home, but then your world's rocked.
Mhm.
She was on a schedule, a NICU schedule that you try your best to keep, but she knows that she's not in the NICU. She
Yeah.
knows she's home with you. So while her eating schedule, I would say, stayed the same, her sleep schedule was like bonkers, trying to like readjust. And she became very colicky. So I guess as their digestive systems kind of mature, and since she wasn't eating a lot, you couldn't tell as quickly. But when she got home and she was eating more, she started to get super colicky. We were like, okay, maybe it's acid reflux. We had medicine for her, and like things weren't getting any better. So I feel like I went through another round of postpartum because I was like, now I went from being like crazy, missing my daughter to having her home and being like, my whole life was changed again. And the sleep was like
Mhm.
changed. And I couldn't sleep because I was so worried about her and hearing monitors and stuff that
Yeah.
I just like obsessed over her. And then her being colic, I could never put her down. I actually mastered going to the bathroom, holding her, pulling leggings down, pulling them up, washing my hands, and leaving the bathroom. Like, the crazy things you do because I just didn't wanna hear her cry anymore, like,
Yeah.
it that's a different postpartum that
Oh,
drives me
yeah,
nuts.
colic is a whole 'nother level. That's, like that will drive you crazy.
Literally, it's one of my twins had it too, so Lainey did, and then the oldest of the 2 twins. We ended up finding out Lainey was pooping blood at the pediatrician appointment. She had not done that before, and she did it while we were there, and she was like, she has a milk protein allergy.
Oh my god.
So then we had to switch formula to a non-milk formula, but it wasn't enough for her. She really was like that sensitive to it that she had to go on an amino acid-based
Oh, so
formula.
she had to get a fancy, fancy formula.
Her formula was a can like this for $70, and it was during the formula shortage in 2022. So yeah. My aunt was shipping me formula from Florida. My parents were stopping on their drive from the Poconos down, multiple places, like Walmarts to check, like different Walmarts on the way. Because only Walmart, CVS, I think one other place were the only ones that carried it because it was so specific. I
Wow.
contacted the company, but they couldn't even get me much. They sent me what they could, but like I think they only gave me like 4 cans.
Oh my well, good for that company, that's nice.
Yeah, they were really nice about it, but, like, yeah, so
That's awful.
that was, like, a second, like, postpartum.
What helped you so, like, we talked about a lot there, so her coming home from the NICU, but before that, while you were kind of in that limbo, just for our moms that might go through that or have gone through that, what helped you? What
Family and friends. I had a lot of visitors, and I needed it.
Mhm,
I was, like, driving myself nuts in, like, the 4 walls, like, I constantly just kept feeling like everything was enclosing on me because
mhm,
everything of hers was right there. So no matter what room I went into, something was already set up.
yeah.
My mom, my cousin, they would come down for, like, the day, like, at least twice a week.
Oh, that's
A friend of ours had their son a month before I had Lainey, so she came over with her son, and I got to hold him for a little bit, and,
that's
like,
cute.
gives you it's not a filling a void, but it's filling a void, if that makes
Yeah, and
sense,
it's
like
kind of like it's keeping you moving, it's keeping you engaged because 'cause it'd be really easy to get into that, like, place of just dark.
yes, so
Yeah,
100%, like, lean on family and friends, and if you need help, ask for help because it's a
yeah,
tough stage.
yeah, yeah, and I will say that there was multiple levels of postpartum there, but also be aware of, like, postpartum depression signs because everyone thinks that that's, like, right away. That can happen for, like,
I think it's, like, up to 2 years.
yes, yeah, so it can happen for a while after, and it doesn't mean that it happened right away, and it's not gonna happen again, or it didn't happen and then it can't happen later on down your
Yeah,
postpartum journey. So just be really aware of the signs and take care of yourself, I guess, is, like, my biggest advice there on that one,
yeah,
but
and that postpartum depression can look different than
very different.
like, different from Mariah to myself, it could have been different, and same with you guys, like, it takes different signs,
Yeah.
so, have you dealt with postpartum depression?
Yeah, I think, I think I started to get into it a bit after I had the twins further, so, like, that's why I mentioned when I did that it didn't happen right away. But I think later down the line, maybe, like, 6 months or so after to almost a year, I think that's when it started to hit and I could feel it. Um, but it really helped me just to keep moving. My mom had previously had postpartum when she gave birth to me, so I knew what to look for, and I also knew how to handle it for myself. Like, I knew that I needed to keep moving, keep doing my day-to-day, find, like, just be engulfed in, like, the joy of everything going on and don't whatever's draining my happiness outside of, like, my responsibilities, I had to take a second. Like, I tried too hard to keep up with everything, I think is that was what was affecting me. It wasn't the kids or anything going around, but, like, me trying to be who I was while also entering this new stage of mom and twin mom while trying to keep up with what I was already
Like the
doing.
social life become yeah.
That's not obtainable. Like, social life, corporate life, like, you can still kick butt, it's just going to look different,
Yeah.
and you have to I my biggest thing was, yes, you can kick butt, but also take it easy on yourself on the days that you need to take it easy on yourself. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be a full out sprint every day. There are going to be days where I just want to be just with my girls and say no to things, and that's fine, and that brought, like, wholesomeness and brought me back to life was being able to set boundaries like that. I think was my biggest thing on to not fall into the postpartum hole. Again, that was me. Everybody's postpartum's different. Every reasoning they
Mhm.
have for going into, like, a postpartum depression is different, and how they handle it is going to be different. So, if you feel that way, seek help.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think it's talked
what
about or done enough in
uh,
the US. Like you have your 6-week appointment and then they're like, okay, see you when your yearly is up.
yeah,
You take a questionnaire, anybody can circle whatever they want on their questionnaire and hand it in and you can lie on it. But I mean, I highly suggest you do not lie on it.
yeah,
But
but it's
this,
hard. You feel judged. You're like,
oh
"I
my
don't
gosh,
wanna
yeah.
how am I supposed to answer this?" Yeah, so
Do what you have to do that makes you feel happy and makes you there and present for your
mhm.
kids.
Yeah,
I would agree. More recently, I have been trying to say no and set those boundaries and be like, you know what, I'm protecting my peace and my family. I used to have not a single weekend that I wasn't out, even with Lainey,
yeah.
constantly like dragging her along to things. And Gary's more of the stay at home guy. Like he just wants to be home. And I was always like, oh no, I planned this and I
Yeah,
planned
we're
that.
doing this, and we're making memories, and we're doing this.
Yes, and he was like, "Sometimes, Amanda, I just want to be home."
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to get it because we had a lazy Sunday morning this past Sunday, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And not that we don't have them other days, but I think I actually, like, took it in. And I don't know what was different about this Sunday. No clue. There was nothing that, like, sparks anything in my mind thinking like, "Oh, we did this differently," but it started slow. Lainey wanted to watch, I think it was The Grinch again.
Probably. They
It's
watched it,
probably
like,
The Grinch.
3 times the other day. I
I
was like,
know,
"Please."
I know. And the boys were playing nicely together, which only happens here and there. It was just like a good start and watching the 3 of them, like, play and enjoy each other.
Be. Just
Yes. Or
be.
even, like, Gary took a shower and he came downstairs and then I went and took a shower and the house didn't fall apart.
Yeah.
And that takes a while, especially with twins. With one, you can sit that baby in a bouncer for a while you
Yeah.
shower. You can trap them in somewhere. With two, you are not taking two bouncers up and down the steps. Or I used to take like the jumper. I had one upstairs for that reason and one downstairs. Well, now
Yeah.
I have twins, so I had to use both of
Yeah,
them.
you have to use everything.
So I'm like, okay, well, the only time I can shower is if they're napping. And then the one was colicky, so never liked to nap. And I would just have to let him cry it out and shower.
Yeah.
But like now we're at the point where Gary just showered and I enjoyed them. And
Yeah.
then I went up to shower and I wasn't even hearing phantom cries.
Yeah,
Because
you
phantom cries?
oh, no.
I had awful phantom cries. And I don't know if that like stems from like the hearing the beeping in the NICU, but like I would be in the shower with after having Lainey and she was fine, either sleeping or with my husband. And I'd be in the shower swearing I hear her screaming her like brains out. And I would have to shut the water off and listen and hear nothing. And then I'd be like, okay,
Oh my
you didn't have
gosh.
phantom cries?
I did not have phantom cries. I would get phantom kicks.
Oh, I did that
I would
too.
not I was like, "Damn it, Tom, I'm pregnant again."
I did
I'm
the same
getting
thing. I
fan
was like, "Oh my god, this is not okay. This is not okay."
but yeah, I would get phantom kicks, and I'm like, "There's no way I would even feel a kick. Why am I feeling a
I
kick?"
know.
But, like, yeah, but
Yeah.
never cries.
Oh, the
No,
phantom
no
cries are tough.
phantom cries.
I even did it the other day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it, like, doesn't go away. It goes like, "Somebody's crying," and I, like, turn off the water, I'm like, "Nobody's crying." Not a single cry was being had in the house.
No, no.
Yeah,
But, I know we went on a lot of different topic journeys today. Main one that we wanted to focus on was postpartum and the different aspects. There's a lot of different aspects, as you know, that go into it, whether that's
yeah,
NICU, postpartum depression, stool softener,
yeah,
diapers, high-waisted underwear,
yeah.
all of that,
That's stuff that, like, when
fun
we
stuff.
were looking before we had twins, like, nobody talked about. There
No
was no
one
podcast that said, like, "Get a stool softener." At least I couldn't find one.
No, no, or, like, tips, like, put a fridge in your room
Yeah,
because you don't have time like, with your first, one person can do things, but when you have twins, like, it is an assembly line. All parts of your life now are an assembly line.
yeah.
Even getting out of the house today was an as backpacks. Um, breakfast. "Oh, I want the pink plate. I want this plate."
Mhm.
You get that with all kids, twins or not, but it is an assembly line with twins. You have 2 that are
Getting
the
them in the
same age.
car.
Yes,
Like, I
getting
have an order that
Yep,
they go in the car and just that how it's easy for me to get them up over another car seat, and,
yeah,
like, that order stays. So, like,
yeah,
again, an assembly line because it's just me in the morning.
yeah,
So, like, I have to get, I actually get twin B into the car before I can get my daughter.
yeah,
So I usually just go twin A, twin B, and then Lainey.
yeah. What would be your postpartum takeaway? Any tips for our listeners?
Give yourself grace and understand that, like, what we just talked about is our postpartum, or understanding these signs might not be yours.
Mhm,
And they can be anything from, like, crying and thinking what actual depression is and, like, bad thoughts, to something as simple as just not being able to keep on track and not wanting to do something that you would normally want to do. Like,
mhm,
they can take multiple different
yeah,
avenues, and just to give yourself grace.
yeah,
And the NICU is a hard journey, but you'll get through it if you need to. And utilize your nurses. They're great. They will talk you through every part
yeah,
of the way.
yeah. Nurses and doctors were huge. They were huge. I still text mine on my twins' birthday.
That's great.
Yeah, they texted me happy birthday, and I text them, "Thank you so much." Like I said before, I called them my dream team, so
Yeah.
they're the ones that helped bring them into this world and made sure everything was safe doing so,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about you? What's a tip? What's something you would take away?
Listen to your body, just basically echoing what you're saying, like, have grace with yourself, set your boundaries. I think I learned to do that after I had my twins. With my first, I was everywhere, did everything. It was one of them. When 2 of them come, it was way harder to keep up with the Joneses, or we can, I guess, say now, like, keeping up with the Kardashians. Should we say that? Like, make it new? Um, but it was very hard to keep up, and that's okay. It's gonna look new, and that's great, and I love this side of me better, I
Oh,
should
yeah.
say. They taught me to slow down,
I
and
would
I think we spend so much time trying to survive after we have the twins, like, because there's so much going on, it's not surviving them, you're enjoying them, it's fantastic. I think surviving as in, like, make sure everything's done during the day. We have a lot of responsibilities. Moms just have another layer of responsibility. You're most of the time the default parent.
Mhm.
Um, so just really taking that time out for you, whether that's like popping out to go get your nails done, even if it's eating your favorite candy that day or something that
Yeah.
is self-care and self-love every single day.
Have a glass of wine.
Have a glass of wine, and I'm saying every single day. If that's you putting in extra sugar in your coffee because that's what you wanted that day, you do that.
Yep.
That counts as self-love and self-care.
I
Well, at least
agree.
it did for me. So, like, that re-energized me, it made me better for them. So, I would say do that and ask questions. Car seat test, we've mentioned that today. I had no idea.
Mm-mm.
We had already had one kid. I did not have to do a car seat test for her because she didn't meet the threshold, and that's great. But then when I had the twins and they're like, "Oh, we're taking them for the car seat test," I'm like, "What?" Like, I thought I already knew it. There's different things with every pregnancy.
Yeah.
Ask questions and don't be scared too.
Your nurses and doctors see this every day.
Yep,
So to them, like, saying, "We're gonna take the twins for a car seat test," to them is just like, "Well, yeah, it's procedure. I gotta do it." they don't always remember that you haven't done it
I'm
before.
like, "What is a car seat test?
Yeah.
Can I not take them home now?" She passed it, so I didn't have to, like, overthink that.
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay, you said this, but what does that mean? Like, does that mean they have to stay here, or what is that?" So,
Yeah, the only
mm,
reason I knew half of the stuff I did for the twins and asked the questions I did then was because I learned them through asking about Lainey when she was in the NICU.
yeah.
So, like, when they came and was like, "Oh, one of your boys needs the car seat test," it was like, "Yeah, don't they both?" Like, I just
Yeah,
was
you
yeah,
automatically think
where
it's
it was,
yeah,
like, different for Mariah, so
yeah,
obviously, you're all different too. Make sure you ask the questions, get the help you need.
exactly.
Just make sure that you feel comfortable and you feel confident in everything that's going on in your hospital journey,
Yep,
on your way home.
yeah,
Even when you go to your pediatric appointments afterward, like, if you have those questions, ask them.
yep. And if you want our postpartum list, let us know. We'll
Yeah.
we'll be happy to share
Yeah.
all the diapers and,
Oh, yeah.
because I
All
did
the pads on your high-waisted underwear
yeah,
stuff.
I did have a different brand that I used the first time with Parker, and then with the twins, I found a different brand, and I loved it way better. I have to it's in my notes, but
Mm.
if you want that, you let us know, and, yeah, take care of you, and
Yes.
just
It
enjoy it.
Hey, you can only be the best mom you can be when you take care of yourself.
Yep, agreed. Well, thanks for joining us today on Twinning Out Loud.
Yes. Take care. We'll see you next episode.